So if you're an English teacher, you understand that phrasing is important. Huh?
That's right.
For example, did you eat, Grandma?
Right. Or like, did you eat, Grandma?
So if you're a guitar player, much the same rules apply.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So they were talking about phrasing. So what is phrasing, Justin?
So phrasing is the, I guess the way that you play something, right? Not what you're playing.
Right. Especially like I think in lead playing.
Yeah,
It's the
most
most
importantly.
prevalent,
Yeah, I think we have a bar of music, right? It's 4 beats, and so you feel like you have to fill that bar, right? And so a lot of times when you start playing lead, or when you learn your pentatonic, everything is like right on the downbeat.
Right, you're just noodling around, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like there's really no phrasing when you start. Right?
That's right.
For me, there wasn't.
Yeah,
Anyways,
and for some people there never is. You get stuck into patterns and habits, and so what ends up happening is you're not playing efficiently and you're not playing thoughtfully. There's like a disconnect between. Right?
But guess what?
What's
We're here
that?
to connect the dots.
That's right. Yeah. So I think first, we're gonna identify 2 really simple arpeggio shapes that are hiding within the pentatonic scale, right?
Root them out.
That's right.
Let's find them.
And then Sean's gonna play some little waltzy chords.
It's my jam.
And then
3/4.
and then we're just gonna write like a melody line over it, so you guys can kind of see the whole process, right?
So let's play it first.
Sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool.
Right.
So what I heard there, what was very important in your phrasing, was when the chords changed, where you were in your thing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. So first we're just going to show you, we're using the bottom half of the position 1 minor pentatonic, right? So it's, we're starting on the 7th fret of the D string, right? We're moving over to the G string and we're hitting the 5th and the 7th. We're moving over to the B string, hitting the 5th and the 8th, and then we're moving over to the high E string, 5/8 again, right? Everybody knows that shape. And unfortunately, everybody's heard that shape. If you play a lick that's similar to that, it's like, oh, I know what he's doing, right? And that can like break the immersion for your listener,
That's right. We're telling a story.
That's right,
We're not telling the same story everybody else told.
Right. So the first arpeggio is really simple. We're going to do an A minor. Actually, we'll do the C major first, because that's what comes
Those
first.
chords I played were C major to A minor.
That's right. So, the first little arpeggio is a C here on the 5th fret of the G string, right? And then you're going to play the 5th fret of the B string. And then the 8th fret here. And then the 8th fret here, right? So,
C, E, G, C.
So it can be kind of easy to bar these notes and play, like, hold down 2 strings at once with your index finger and your pinky, or maybe your ring, depending on your skill level. So, but then you have them ringing out. So you have to decide as a musician if you want, or if you want them to ring out. So that's the first arpeggio.
Yeah, and those are just the notes in the chord I'm playing on an acoustic
That's
guitar, one at a time. So there's a synergy there; they fit together.
Right. So for the A minor, it starts on the 7th fret of the D string, right, and then we go to the C, which is the 5th fret of the G string. And we're actually going to use a flat 7 because it sounds really good,
Beautiful.
right? Which is going to be the 8th fret of the B string, and then we're going to hit an octave, another A on the 5th fret of the high E string, right? So the reason I like the flat 7 in there is it instead of like, it makes it sound a little less like a straightforward arpeggio,
Right.
especially since we're coming off the C major, which they share the same notes, right? So
C, E, G, A, C, E. There's
Right.
an overlap there.
that's right. And so if I include this flat 7, which is the G, so the flat 7 of the A minor arpeggio is G, which is the 5 of the C. So what Sean mentioned is that as he changes chords, I'm using notes I'm borrowing notes from other arpeggios, right, and then moving towards that chord at the same time.
And it just kind of creates like a glue of melody.
That's right.
That those two pieces can kind of sit together in, right? And I think that's something that you should kind of be thoughtful about, especially when you're like at the beginning of new bars. Kind of like you can kind of feel it. Let's try it again. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C, A, C, okay, so it's like happening together, and that's just because it's thoughtful phrasing. You're not just really mindlessly noodling around.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if it's kind of like when you first start cooking. I don't know if anybody cooks, but like,
I don't really.
Dude, let me tell you something. Some of the hardest things for people to learn is to let something cook. Just leave it, right? Like, don't constantly flip it and don't constantly stir it. Let it. So in our guitar playing, we want to let the phrase kind of sit there for a minute. So you don't have you don't have to fill in every space.
Let it marinate. Ooh. These are terms I've heard.
Yeah, and from cooking.
Yeah. Does cooking require heat? Is that the definition of cooking?
Oh man.
Because if it does, I don't cook at all.
Yeah, that's a really good.
I combine things.
You prep.
I prep.
You prep.
I prep.
Yeah, you prep.
I'm good at
You prep. You totally prep.
I mix stuff up sometimes.
Oh no, bro. You
man,
prep.
thanks, Justin. I'm a boss ass cook.
Yeah, you are.
Now that I think of it.
Pump the brakes. You're boss.
Okay.
So now that we've identified these arpeggio shapes, we've identified the concepts between moving with these chords. I'm going to show you the small melody line that we've written. This has no embellishments, no bends, no slides. Just the straightforward. So we have the C note, right? And then we're going to go to, which is on the 5th fret of the G string, right? So then we're going to switch to the B string with our pinky or our ring finger, depending on your skill level. We're going to hit the 8th fret of the B string, right? Then we're going to hit the 5th fret, and then we're going to go to this A up on the 5th fret of the high E. So we have 1, 2, right? And that's our first pause. That's the first kind of breathing, right? And then as the chord changes back to A, we're going to hit the 7th fret, right, of the G string. And then we're going to hit the 7th fret of the D string to move back to the A, which is when the E minor hits, right? So, so we have... right? And then I did a few different things, but I think the best thing to do in between the A minor and the C major chord is to play the 5th fret here on the B string, and then the 7th fret here on the G string, and then the 8th fret on the B string, and then the 7th fret on the G string again. Right? So we have
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is.
Right?
They're together.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's all because of that phrasing, where you timed kind of just landing on things. Which, if you are one of those noodlers, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the best thing to do is start introducing pieces of phrasing instead of having to be thoughtful about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you can kind of be busy within those bars.
Oh, for sure.
But I think once you start thinking about where those chords are and landing on the downbeat, it'll immensely improve your lead playing.
Right, and then so like let's say if you want to add a bend somewhere, you have like 1, 2, so. So maybe like every third time you add like a little...
Yeah, anything. Just still do your minor pentatonic stuff. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right? Shred it in between those, but just hit that on the downbeat.
That's right.
And it'll be like, that guy was thoughtful about what he was doing.
Exactly. So like any your favorite blues lick, or whatever your favorite metal riff is, you can work those into those spaces where you're breathing, but maybe not all the time, tasteful.
Sure. Just a dab. Thoughtful. Exactly. That's what we preach here.
That's right.
Thoughtfulness.
That's right.
All right, so until next time, Grandma.
Until next time, Grandma.